from what I saw, basically what you're telling me is that George Pickens could have literally like toe tap 15 times in the same spot, and it wouldn't have been a touchdown. Like
Yeah.
it's a stupid rule. It's a dumb rule. It's a very dumb rule. But yeah, we're it's 9-9. I'm watching right now. Totally Neighbors is having a hell of a game. I think he's kind of doing the first down. I kind of knew this game. We always do. We always play down to our competition. This is what we do as Steelers. We're just always doing stupid shit like this. Daniel Jones looks like fucking Tom Brady. I don't know. Oh God. Man. But hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the two-man front. Thank you for joining us tonight. I know it's late for you East Coasters. It's not too late for you West Coasters. It's only 7:00 over here. I know it's 10 p.m. and we gotta get the old man to bed. Get Paul to bed soon. This is gonna be a quick show. We wanted to make sure we got this out to you guys, so you guys can watch and enjoy. Again, welcome to the two-man front. It's not going to be the prettiest show, but not a lot of graphics today because we had to get this out. We want to get this out as soon as possible. Again, of course, subscribe to our YouTube, subscribe to our channels. We'll talk about that at the end. Be Easy Sports, and of course, obviously, Objectively Biased Sports by the Fog. And of course, leave your comments below. We love to hear from you guys. We want to hear. It's always better when we are bantering. And excuse me if I'm looking down and up. I have the game on my TV right now. Not TV, but on my phone. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on this game because, yeah, I mean, it's just I'm stressed out right now a little bit. But yeah, Fog, let's jump right into it. Let's jump right into it. The way that Tyreek Stevenson jumped into that tip pass and got that ball for the tipped that ball for the Redskins to win that. Oh, sorry, the Commanders to win that game. Fog, winners and losers. Who are your winners and losers? Real quick, winners and losers of Week 8.
Oh, easy winners right here. Winners are going to be obviously the Commanders. Jaden Daniels, that Hail Mary, that's beautiful. Everything went right for them on that one. Another winner for me, the Cleveland Browns. Jameis Winston, especially Jameis Winston. He comes in, he plays a really clean game. The Browns actually look good. I know how their schedule looks, and I know where their record is.
Yeah.
However, there's about 5 or 6 definite winnable games there for them if they play like they did against the Ravens this past weekend. And let's say Denver kind of trickles off, because I think Denver would be the 7th team in the playoff right now.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
If Denver falls off, guess what? I wouldn't be shocked if the Browns made the playoffs, and all they got to do is get in there to make a run.
Really?
Because, look, I know they got rid of Cooper, but, Cooper leaves Cedric Tillman, the guy who I thought was the better wide receiver than Jalen Hyatt coming out of Tennessee. Tillman looked good.
He did.
Tillman looked good. Injuries plagued his college career, but he definitely looked good. Now, my losers is going to be the Bears coaching staff, because I don't know what the fuck happened at the end of that game. The last 2 possessions were absolutely horrible. You should have been covered. Your corners should not have been playing deep and inside and protecting the insides. They should have been up front and on the outsides, forcing Washington to go over the middle of the field, not give them a 13-yard out and with time to throw the Hail Mary. And then that Hail Mary defense, look, from my understanding of playing the game and watching the game, when you've got a Hail Mary, you got one jumper. You got one guy that goes up for the ball, and he doesn't go up to catch it. The objective is to knock the ball down. The other guys that are back there are basically boxing out the receivers. What the whole Bears secondary jumped up after the ball like they were centers on a tip at the beginning of an NBA game. And then you wonder why I forget who the tight end was that was sitting back there, just has the ball fall right into his fucking hands. Like, great job, guys. That was absolutely chaos. So the Bears coaching staff, especially the way they ran the defense the last 2 plays of that series, absolutely horrible. And I know you want to say it, but I'm gonna say it since he asked me first. Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets are the biggest losers of them all. Devonta Adams has to be sitting there going, man, I I was losing with the Raiders, but I came over here and I'm losing now with the Jets. At least he's losing with friends, right? At least he's losing with friends.
Honestly, the Jets aren't my loser because I'm over the Jets. I'm not even going to talk about the Jets. Well, we will talk about the Jets, honestly, but they're not my loser, honestly, because they've been losers. So you can't be a loser and then a loser. Like you're already a loser. So like my biggest loser, I'm gonna start negative here. One of my biggest losers, obviously, is the Baltimore Ravens. It's like you said, the Cleveland Browns are your winners. The Baltimore Ravens are my losers. That's just an unexcusable loss. And honestly, it's one of those losses where they had multiple chances to win the game. Lamar Jackson did everything he could do in his power to win that game. Mm-hmm. Like, and Jameis Winston, Mr. 30 for 30, did everything in his power to give away the game. Literally, the game was in Kyle Hamilton's hands, and he dropped it. So, I mean, that was just an inexplicable loss. Like, I don't even know how you even explain that loss. And honestly, it's going to hurt them because I'm looking at the standings right now. And look, obviously, I'm a Steelers fan, so I don't care too much. We win this game. We're clean. We are 100% ahead of the number one in the division, right? Yep. We have the clear cut number one. We lose, we're tied back with the Ravens. Ravens could have easily took first place, and we'd have been tied with them if we won this game, but they didn't do that. As well, though, look, the AFC is pretty good. I mean, the Bills are still in it. Bills still in. Obviously, the Houston Texans are sneaky 6-2. Obviously, Kansas City is still 7-0. They're probably going to get home field advantage, something that the Ravens probably needed, right? All teams need it, really. So, like, I mean, it's just one of those things where, like, the Ravens are just shooting themselves in the foot. And it's the reason why it's hard to ride with them because they just don't know how to close games. I'm not going to blame it on Lamar Jackson. I'm going to blame it on the defense. Somebody said on Facebook today that the Ravens defense really is smoke and mirrors. It looks good, but it's really not as good.
Listen. I said it at the beginning of the season. The Ravens scare me this year. I was all in on them last year. They lost a lot. Coaching-wise and personnel-wise. And I don't know what this defense is going to look like, which is why I could not pick them to be a Super Bowl favorite this year.
Yeah, no, I think the Ravens are just. I mean, I think they're a good team. I'm not gonna overreact to their loss. But that was just an inexplicable loss. I can't. It's just a horrible loss. My other loser, honestly, my other loser is I'm gonna keep it in the same division, man. Well, I want to say Cincinnati. I'm kind of going back and forth between Cincinnati and then Chicago. I felt like Chicago had a chance to be like. There's a big difference between being 5-2 and 4-3. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, they would have been tied with Minnesota. One game behind, percentage points behind Green Bay, or one game behind Green Bay and Detroit Lions. Now they find themselves 4-3, and everyone else is 5-2, 6-2, and 6-1. They could have really made that division tighter, and honestly, that could have been a win that they could have really kind of expedited their or jump started their season, right? But I feel like this is gonna kind of like somewhat kind of demoralize them. I'm not sure they can recover from this. But I mean, Tyreek Stevenson, man, like. Honestly, I'm not going to rag on him because I was telling everybody, I told my brothers, I told everybody, like, natural consequence really took over for Tyreek Stevenson. He's going to get killed.
Yeah, it did.
like he's getting killed on Twitter. He's probably getting killed by his teammates in the group chat, whatever's happening in his group chat. I think, honestly, and you said it, coaching wise, it wasn't even like the. I mean, yes, you have a jumper, you have a guy that's attached to the guy behind because the Commanders have somebody behind to catch the tip because the Commanders are trying to tip it too, right?
Yeah.
The guy behind them, right? So that's the whole goal. But honestly, Rex Ryan, and I was like thinking this when I watched Get Up this morning, Rex Ryan literally took my thoughts last night and said it on Get Up. Why didn't they bring pressure? I never understood why teams don't bring pressure. I never understood it. I never understand why teams don't bring pressure. And then they had a spy. Like, who are you spying the last game, the last play of the game? You're a linebacker
He's
spying.
not running 80 yards for a touchdown. You would that's the other thing. Instead of rushing 4, you rush 5, load 3 to the left to force Daniels to run to his left. And then your other 2 defenders on the right side, they're just there to contain so he doesn't square his body up to let it rip.
I don't understand that. That was more frustrating to me than the whole Tyreek Stevenson thing, him gloating or him talking to the fans. I don't whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of funny how like the play had started and he was still talking.
He was running his mouth. It's like, dude,
it's a bad look. But the spy killed me. The spy, like, if Eberflus is supposed to be some defensive guru, like honestly. If they don't make the post, this cost him his job. I can easily say this cost him his job. I think it did.
Look at the chaos that was happening on the sideline too. Like Caleb Williams had to run out there and grab the rookie is the sense of even keelness. He's the guy that's bringing the calm to the coaching staff. Like, what is going? That entire, like I said, those last 2 plays just blew my mind. Watching it, they look like a bunch of little Pop Warner kids and coaches on the football field, not knowing what the fuck was going on because they were not ready for this type of situation.
Yeah, I mean, my winners today, yesterday are going to be 2 teams. I got the Detroit Lions. I think they had the best performance, and they look. I'm tempted to say they look the best team in football. I'm very tempted to say it. I'm afraid to say it because I'm afraid they're going to let me down. But I'm tempted to say it that they may be the best team in the NFL. I know the Chiefs are undefeated. I get it, but I think that the Detroit Lions may be playing the most complete football there is right now. I mean, they really, I think they really are. Another winner that I want to say that maybe that are kind of hanging on by a thread that needed the win are the San Francisco 49ers. I think they needed that win last night against Dallas. I think they need a big win. It was close. It wasn't as close as the score indicated. I think once they start to get healthy, once they're healthy, they're a well-oiled machine. And I think they're one of the bigger winners are the San Francisco 49ers beating the Dallas Cowboys last night. But the NFC West, man, the NFC West is just a cluster F. Like, it's just like 3 teams 4-4. The Rams are 3-4. The Rams still have a shot to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they do.
We all thought they were done and dead for like just 2 weeks ago, right? When they were 1-4. Now they're magically 3-4, and
they're getting their personnel back healthy.
And they're getting their guys back healthy. Nakua's back. Nakua's back. Cooper Kupp is back. Yeah, I think. I mean, we'll see. That division is awfully tight, but yeah, those are going to be. Those are my winners. Yeah, the Detroit Lions, who I believe is the best team in the NFL right now. I know the Chiefs are there, but I still think the Lions are better. But not saying they can't. I'm not saying they can beat the Chiefs.
Yeah,
but I think the Lions are a better team right now. And then,
I think that I'll tell you what. I think the Lions could beat anybody. To include the Chiefs, because I think the Lions can
in Arrowhead.
Yes, absolutely. I think the Lions could punch them the way they physically play on the football field. I don't think Kansas City's offense can fit, especially without Pacheco at the running back position. I don't think Kansas City's offense can physically handle what Detroit's defense is going to bring.
49ers need to find a second pitch. Not sure what he means by that. Kevin Oliver, appreciate Kevin Oliver for watching, man. I know it's late over there where you are. The guys are brittle and they only know how to win one way. I understand that. But can they beat the refs and the Chiefs? Yeah. I mean, look, man, it's
good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
It is a good point. I mean, we'll leave that comment alone because we all know like that there's something to that. There is. It's hard to ignore that. It's hard to ignore that. Look, that's what these dynasties get. Patriots had it for years, and now the Chiefs have the referees on their side now. But Fog, we got some messes to clean up. We got some mess. There's two messes on each side of a division of a conference. The biggest mess are the Dallas Cowboys of the NFC. The other big mess, the AFC, are the New York Football Jets. Fog, to you, which team is the bigger mess, Dallas or the New York Jets?
Oh man, this is close. I'm gonna go with the Jets are the bigger mess because of everything that they've invested into winning these next 2 years. And realistically, if the Jets continue going the way they're going, it may not even be hey, let's just build back up for next year. This is a one-and-shot deal. I think Aaron Rodgers retires at the end of this year if the Jets don't do anything. So I think the Jets are in a bigger mess because Rodgers retires and you're going to wipe out the whole coaching staff. So there's going to be a whole new coaching staff in there. And it's the Jets got to be the bigger mess. The Cowboys, this is a mess that Jerry Jones has been making since they last won the Super Bowl with Barry Switzer as the head coach. This mess is there. It's always going to be there until Jerry dies. It's
so damn morbid.
He's been making this mess for over 2 decades. I'm not. It's in shambles. He's wasting some of these guys' careers. But the Jets are the bigger mess in my opinion.
Yeah, Kevin Oliver says all that money they spent on Rodgers. Imagine the team could have built around finding a QB organically. Well, they tried. Like Zach Wilson didn't work out. They've tried to do that. They tried Zach Wilson. They tried Geno Smith, right? They tried. I mean, it's not lack of trying for the New York Jets. They just don't draft well.
Their scouting team sucks.
Right. I mean, so, man, this is tough. Honestly, because I think the Dallas Cowboys are in better position to be better. I think that.
You really think they are?
I think Dallas has the pieces. I mean, not the running game this year. They have not had a running game since they let go of Zeke. Or not Zeke.
Well, they pissed that away. Tony Pollard. Pissed that away by not.
Who was the guy they had before? Was it Zeke? Yeah, it was Zeke, right? There was splitting carries. Yeah. These just haven't been the same team. They don't spend. They don't spend money. They let Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry lives in Dallas, by the way, and he literally works in Baltimore. How that happens, I don't know. But anyway, I don't know. But I think Dallas. I think Dallas would be the bigger mess because of Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones creates messes. He is the mess. Like Jerry Jones is not getting out of the way, and I think that is just more of a frustration, and the fact that Jerry Jones is not getting out of his own team's way. I think the Jets are a mess too, but I think because I really believe that the Cowboys are a GM, not even an owner, a GM away from really being good, like really being a good team. And they just can't do that because Jerry Jones doesn't want to get out of the way, right? And that's why I think the bigger mess is probably Dallas, because Jerry Jones just doesn't want to get the hell out of the way, man. Like, he's just hurting his own team. He's hurting his own, I don't want to say he's hurting his own legacy, but he kind of is, because if Jerry Jones just got out of the way and stepped back like a Robert Kraft and just collected his billions and millions and just counted his money while the other people were doing the work for him, making him money and winning championships, Jerry Jones could have about 4, 5, 6 rings right now, right? With the teams he has had and the rosters he's built, maybe not the coaches, but I mean, you can get away with some like mid coaches. Like I think McCarthy's kind of a mid coach. He's a Super Bowl, but he's good enough to where if you have a quarterback, right? I want to say like a Dak Prescott, but the way he played last night, good Lord, it's hard to defend that. Like the way Dak Prescott played last night, it's hard to defend that.
When
But
you're not going to when you don't have the consistent pieces on the offensive side of the ball, you're going to get those performances from a quarterback who is a good quarterback, but he's just not that elite quarterback.
he's not. But you say it all the time though. Like, well, I guess you kind of made your point. You don't need to be elite to win.
No,
You
you
need to
don't.
be consistent, right? But you need the pieces around you. And I think he's had some of those pieces, though. To be fair, Dax had those pieces and he just didn't get it done. To be
Oh
fair.
no, yeah. Listen, they last year was a prime example. They actually had the pieces to make something happen, and they pissed it away. Collectively, the entire team allowed a Green Bay Packers team who was the youngest roster to win a playoff in NFL history, mopped the floor with them in the second half of a game that they should have won.
Kevin Oliver is going crazy right now. So Kevin Oliver is saying they want to. I guess you're responding, Kevin. I think you're responding to me when I said that they tried to get quarterbacks organically. I agree. They weren't a win now team, but I can make the argument the Jets weren't a win now team now. I feel like the line still wasn't there. I felt like they were like a little bit, tad bit overrated defensively. I think people were gloating. We're not gloating. We're pumping up the Jets as if they were some like statistically, yes, they were top 5, but like they weren't like some all-time great 2015 Broncos or 2013 Seahawks, or they weren't that good. They were good, but they weren't that good, right? Or 2008 Steelers, they weren't that good. But I don't know if they were win now to where you bring Aaron Rodgers in with no line, right? That's the Jets weren't a team to me that were like ready to go, kind of like the Bucks were ready to go when they got Brady, or when the Broncos were ready to go when they got Peyton Manning. Those teams were well constructed already, had great top defenses, a great line, especially in Tampa Bay for Brady. They didn't have any of that in New York, so they bring in Aaron Rodgers, and it's just like, okay, Aaron Rodgers can fix all this. No, I mean, I don't agree with this. Also, Kevin says, especially with the QB, doesn't understand that he's a QB hospice instead of his career chance, like Stafford and Manning. He's supposed to let the defense and run, lead the show, and make a few plays a game. But now he shoved some mushroom up his ass. He wanted to be a star. You know what's funny about that? I think Rodgers wouldn't mind doing all that, but he doesn't really have it. So I feel like he kind of feels like he has to be the star, even though he's doing it like kind of an asshole way. But I get what you mean, Kevin. I do. I understand what you're saying about that. Kevin also says Jerry got to get a coach that he meshes with that isn't a B. There's a way for him to find someone who will work with him and not bend over so far that the only way you can see his team is if they lay down.
I disagree with that completely because Jimmy Johnson, he had that with Jimmy Johnson. And he ran Jimmy Johnson out. Bill Parcells went there. Bill Parcells lasted 2 years and was like, fuck this guy.
He's had him.
So, he's had coaches, man. Jerry Jones comes from the old school. I remember having this conversation with my father. Jerry Jones is the last of a dying breed of GMs, of owners who thought they were GMs and managed to do something that worked well once for them. And then they tried to repeat history. Al Davis did it when he was with the Raiders, and the Raiders had sucked after they had won the Super Bowl. He thought he could do it multiple times. And I think after, 82 or 83 when they went and they lost to Washington, the Redskins at that time. After that, Raiders never saw anything again. Raiders didn't see anything again until what's his name? What the hell was his name?
Coaching wise?
Yeah, the coach, John Gruden left Bill Callahan.
Bill Callahan. Yeah. I was just talking about Callahan. I was just talking about him today for some reason. Yeah, Bill Callahan. You know what's funny about this? They were a quarterback from away from making the playoffs. You know what's funny about that, Kevin? If you got Aaron Rodgers just to make the playoffs, you got him for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
That's honestly like you could have just stuck with like, I don't know. Kevin, what's the guy's name? Kyle Wilson? No. Zach Wilson, whatever his
Zach
name is.
Wilson.
You might as well stuck with him and just built your whole team around him, and then got a running game and got a line, and then even got made the defense even better and kept Robert Saleh, and maybe when you would have made the playoffs, and that would have been it. But if you get Aaron Rodgers to make the playoffs, what's the point? What did you get him for? Why did you trade for him? Like, right? You know, it's just. I mean, yeah, it was wrong. It was a wrong approach. Okay, I see what you mean. Okay. I was making sure that's what you meant. I was making sure.
He's a
all right.
very
Yeah, I
angry
think
Jets
we
fan.
kind of went two different ways on this one. I think Dallas is the bigger mess because I think Dallas is closer. I really do. I think Dallas is closer to because they have the quarterback, they have the skill guys, they have the defense, in my opinion, right? Right. I don't think it's the guy up top and the guy making the calls, and it's trickling down to the field. And I think the Jets are a mess because the Jets are just a mess of a franchise. They're just poorly ran, poor decisions, and they got a 42-year-old quarterback who's coming off an Achilles injury, and they think he's going to save them. That's the issue with the Jets. Let's go to our top 3 MVPs. Let's talk MVP. We're about midway. I know it's week 17. I know it's 17 games, so there really is no midway. I guess week 9 technically will be midway, but we don't got to wait till week 9.
Hey, for the first time, Kyler Murray isn't involved in this conversation.
Yeah, it is. Because Kyler Murray, if MVP was given out week 8, Kyler Murray would have about 7. He would have about 7 MVPs. But who are your top 3 midway MVP candidates right now?
I mean, just going off by the numbers and looking at the teams, my top 3 would be Derrick Henry, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson right now. I think those are my top 3 guys. It was a tough loss against Cleveland, but like you said, you can't fault Lamar for that. He tried everything he could to win that game. That defense just let them down. But those would be my top 3 candidates. I think that you can make an argument for Jared Goff. I think you can make an argument for him. I think you could probably make. I don't think there's any other argument to be made. That's it. I think Jared Goff would be the only other guy you can make an argument for right now.
You know who you could make an argument for? He's on my list, but because his team is just not in the playoff picture right now, and they're just kind of fading away. Honestly, you can make an argument. You can make an argument for Joe Burrow. You can make an argument for Joe Burrow for being an MVP, but his team sucks. So he's not going to win it. His team is kind of letting him down, right? He's numbers wise, he looks great. Numbers wise, he's had some pretty big games. Like the Bengals are pretty close to being like 5-3 instead of 3-5, with the win over the Chiefs, which I believe that they should have beaten, right? Which I still believe that was a BS call. I believe that was week 2. I believe that was week, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, so I think the Kansas City Chiefs could easily been 0-2, but but we'll get into that.
You can make a case for Burrow. You could also make a case for Baker Mayfield, considering all the shit that he's had to deal with down there in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, absolutely. My top 3 are kind of similar to yours. It's if you would ask me this question before yesterday's game against the Browns, I would have said Derrick Henry number 1, but Lamar Jackson overtook him for me based on the game Lamar Jackson played. So Lamar Jackson for me is Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and I got Jared Goff. Because I think he's on the best team. He's the best quarterback on the best. He's not the best quarterback, but he's on the. Well, I guess you said the best quarterback on the best team. I think so, right? He's the best quarterback on the best team. So I would say he's number 3. And I say if they continue this trajectory, I think he can win it.
Well, the shitty part about the award is that I think out of the last 17 times it was given out, a quarterback has won it.
Yep.
And then I think out of that same the 15 out of the last 16 or 17 times. No, I want to say, I think it's 13 out of that. I fucking saw the stat. 13 or 14 out of the last 17 times, the quarterback that won it was also a number 1 seed.
Mm.
So it's kind of like predetermined. I would love to see them bump that.
Well, if that's the case, it should be Jared Goff then. Yeah, I think
no, if like that's what you said, like what you're saying. It's if I'm betting and I'm going with the way the voters have gone over the last 20 years, if Detroit continues to do what they're doing, it doesn't matter. The only way Patrick Mahomes could possibly get it is if Kansas City finishes the season 17-0.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
That's the only way.
Yeah,
Which honestly, which would be insane. Which is really insane. Kevin, obviously, if you make an argument for Joe, you might as well make an argument, bring Kirk in there as well. I'm not mad at that. I think Kirk Cousins deserves it. I'm not mad at that. I mean, I think Kirk Cousins, I don't think he's going to win it. I don't think he should be in it, but I think he could be in the conversation. No question about it, but I think realistically, I think the guys right now are Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, like you said, Jared Goff. I think Derrick Henry, the only way Derrick Henry can win it if he rushes for 2,000 yards. That's the only way Derrick Henry is going to win it, if he gets 2,000 yards this season, which I don't think he's going to be on pace for. And honestly,
I don't even think he's got 1,000 yards yet.
He doesn't have 1,000. No, he doesn't, but he's on pace for it. He can. But honestly, here's my thing with that. People are talking about Derrick Henry having one of the better years of his career, really kind of coming back from his career. If I'm the Ravens, I don't want Derrick Henry to rush 2,000 yards. You know why? He's gonna be exhausted by this come playoffs. If I'm the Ravens, I'm cutting down his carries. like I don't want him to have that many yards before I do. I mean, how many? Think about it. How many 2,000-yard running backs have had great years? Maybe outside Terrell Davis.
I don't know if his rushing attempts are that high though. Because I know they've been they've been putting a lot of Justice Hill out there too.
I think. Let me see. I'll have to look. I'll have to go look at his rushing attempts. I think he only had like 11 carries yesterday for whatever reason. I don't know why he only had 11 carries yesterday. I think they do need to give him the ball more, but I'm saying I wouldn't want him to be some workhorse.
I know he leads him and Josh Jacobs are tied with rushing attempts, 145.
I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan. I would have liked Derrick Henry to have split time. That's why they're not going to do this. But I would like to make a trade. Maybe have gotten a Kareem Hunt, maybe for a change of pace back, or maybe a guy to take the load off Derrick Henry a little bit. But I'm afraid he's gonna be worn down. He's gonna be worn down. I mean, that's why I don't know if him rushing for 2,000 yards is even a smart thing for him to do. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. He's a beast of a running back. But Kevin has a question for us real quick. Speaking of which, are you guys doing comeback player of the year? Is that what it is? Is that Corey? Is it
comeback player of the year
tonight? Because I got a question. It is. What's your question, Kevin?
Coach of the year. Coach of the year.
Coach of the year. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Coach of the year. Because he said I have some corners that should be considered. Ben Johnson, Todd Monken. I don't know about that just yet. I'm still mad at him for last year, but he looks better this year. Yes. Spags. I mean, I think Ben Johnson and Spags are the best at what they do in the league. I think those are the two best DCs. But
I don't think they got coordinators of the year. I think they just have coaches of the year.
Yeah. I think they only have coaches. I don't know they have coordinators of the year. I don't think they do. But I will say Ben Johnson's going to be somebody's coach next year. If he's not, then I don't know what the hell's going on. But he's going to be a coach next year somewhere. Could be New York Jets, possibly, if he even wants that job, or the New York Giants. I don't think a coordinator can win it, Kevin. I've never heard of a coordinator winning. Coach of the year. I mean, I know what you mean. I mean, Ben Johnson for the Lions.
Listen, Spagnuolo could have won it. If coordinators could have won it, Spags could have won it at least 4 times.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he has 2 Super Bowls. 3. 4. Right? This Spags have 4? 2 with the Giants.
2 with the Giants and 2 with the Chiefs.
Yeah. I mean, he's a bona fide Hall of Famer. He's a bona fide Hall of Famer. He's incredible. Like he's incredible. But yeah, I mean Todd Monken, hey man, like I need to see him in the playoffs too. As much look, people don't realize that play calling is just as hard as playing. Okay. So and your play calling, like what you do in the postseason, depends on what you do. Or it's a lot different than what you do in the regular season when it comes to play calling as well. So I want to see what Todd Monken does in the postseason. Zach, what's up, man? What's going on, Zach? Appreciate it. I believe that's West Coast Sports Network. I know that's my boy Zach from that page.
Sorry, I don't know the West Coast Sports Network.
yeah. He's still up with me over here. I know it's 10:30 over there for you East Coasters, but Zach and I are still up wide awake over here. So, but yeah,
Coach of the Year, man. There's some pretty good candidates for Coach of the Year this year.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm being kind of a homer, but if we can make the playoffs,
Tomlin would be an easy pick.
100%.
Easy 100%. Pick.
Hey man, we just scored again. I'm telling you right now, Fog. Listen, Russell Wilson is a revelation, and I'm saying that not because he's not because he's like the Russell Wilson of 2013, but like you should see how fluid I haven't seen an offense this fluid since like 2016, maybe. It's been so long, dog. It's been so long, and people were wondering why Russell Wilson is starting over Justin Fields. Just watch this game. Watch the last couple of weeks. It's just better.
Listen, you don't have to say anything to me. I got him in my dynasty league.
Oh man.
I am so glad he's starting now because now I could finally put two quarterbacks in and start two quarterbacks because I haven't been doing that for a while because my other quarterback was fucking Deshaun Watson.
Jeez. Good Lord.
Good Lord. It's good to have two quarterbacks because almost everybody else in my league's got two quality quarterbacks, and I've been rolling with Jalen Hurts basically the whole season so far.
I'll just say this, man. I'll say this about Jameis Winston. I'll say this, and Kevin. I know Kevin. I'm not sure what Kevin's referring to with this. I can't believe you, but I'm sure he'll tell us. I'll say this, man. The Browns playing well for guys like it's telling how the Browns looked with Joe Flacco and Jameis Winston and how they looked with Deshaun Watson. I mean, that's all you really need to know about like how bad and just where Deshaun Watson is mentally and just really how his teammates felt about him, right? And how they just kind of
I don't think his teammates feel negative towards him. I just think again, you're the leader, and I just don't think his energy was there and gave that team confidence. And then his poor play on top of it. I just don't think Watson had his his lack of confidence in himself.
Yeah, 100%.
It just bled over to the entire team.
Unbelievable. It's unreal how different they look yesterday with a brand new quarterback who was Mr. 30 for 30. How different they looked as opposed to having like Deshaun Watson. It's crazy. It's I mean, I don't know where Deshaun Watson goes from here. I think his career is over personally, but we'll see.
I do too.
We'll see where that goes. And Kevin has one more things. If you believe the conspiracy that all of this was cooked up by the Texans owner to punish Watson, they did a thorough job. That man is cooked. I don't know. Honestly, I'm looking forward to hearing from Deshaun Watson one day because he's going to come out and talk about something. I'm looking forward to him to talk. I just want to know like where he was. I know his father passed away this past year. I don't know, this past season, like maybe like a month ago, maybe something like that. There was that, and then there was some more accusations. I mean, there's so much There's just so much, man. Like it's just it's just a really bad situation all the way around. But it's wow. But we're gonna go ahead and let you East Coasters go to sleep. No need to predict the Monday night game because you know why? We're winning. What's the score?
16-9.
No. 23-9. We just scored.
23-9. Scored again. Oh shit.
We just scored. Russell Wilson deep ball to Calvin Austin, who also has a punt return that made it 16-9. So that's where we are right now.
Oh yeah, nice. Russell Wilson put up 8 more points on my fantasy team.
Oh man, and that's gonna do it for us, man. That's gonna do it for us. Thank you guys for joining us, Kevin Oliver. Thank you very much. Appreciate everything.
Always a pleasure when Kev's around.
Zach, also thank you for showing love, bud. Really, really appreciate it. Also, please follow our pages. Be Easy Sports, the Objectively Biased one over here, Objectively Biased Sports from Fall. Fall, do you have a college football top 12 coming up?
I'm going to do it tonight when we get off of this thing. See, the East Coaster just isn't going to go to sleep.
All I know is I want to know something. Are you a Miami alum?
Oh my God, I got everybody asking me that shit. No, I'm not a Miami. You know, and I said I don't have a problem with people saying, okay, Miami shouldn't be in the top 3 or top 4. I get that. But you know what, Miami? I said this to somebody at the bar the other day, and I said, listen, Miami's giving me, especially with Cam Ward, they're giving me Jordan Travis and Florida State of last year.
Really?
And if Cam Ward stays healthy and doesn't get hurt, I think Miami can actually be competitive. Their defense is sus, but I think that offense running off of Cam, that offense is nonstop. They're going to put up points, and all you need is one opening. Again, any given Sunday, any given Saturday.
Yeah.
It's a one game play. They can do it.
You think they can win? So they're probably going to win the ACC. They got to be. I like Clemson, by the way, but I'm not going to say that out loud, even though I just did. Clemson looks like a team. Clemson looks like a team that I wouldn't want to play in the playoffs. I wouldn't want to play them. Not now. I wouldn't want to play them now.
No, they're starting to look like they're putting it together.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play them now. But if Miami wins, they get the 4 seed or 3 seed, whatever, the ACC, or in the playoff, they have to win 2 games because they get a bye.
Yeah,
well, 3 games, actually. 3 games. The quarterfinal, the semifinal, and the national championship game. I don't see Miami winning 3 games. I'm not that Miami team. No, I guess too many. They've had too many close wins, right? They could easily have 3 losses right now, and that'll be it for them. But
sometimes those are the fucking teams that you turn around and be like, wow, they and then all of a sudden, hey,
I just think that
they're still winning.
Yeah, they're still winning. I just think the defense is kind of like just very shaky. You know what they are? They're like the Colorado of the East Coast. Like, I like the quarterback, like the skill guys. Defense is atrocious, right? They don't have Travis Hunter on their defense either.
Yeah.
Like, they'll have him, right? They would have him on their defense, but yeah, we'll see. I look. We're going to talk more college football as it goes on. We didn't have enough time today, but I am so excited for the playoff. I literally just can't wait who these 12 teams are going to be, because it's going to be the best. I think one of the best postseasons we're ever going to see in college football. That's what I think. It's going to be
because I think the parity is going again. Everything is going to level off, and we've seen seasons where there has been some parity, but your top 3 or 4 teams are usually the 3 or 4 best teams in college football, and they're usually the ones that are going to win it. So,
100%. Well, we'll see about that though. We'll see, because that was one of the things people were saying, that the top, usually the same 2 teams are going to win it. We'll see, because I think there's about 4, 5, 6 teams that can actually legitimately win the national championship.
You want to know why people were saying that? We got to understand there is a changing of the guard. Alabama's dead.
Yeah.
Alabama's dead. There is no Saban. We don't know what this guy's going to do. We know what he did in Washington. We don't know how well it's going to work in Alabama. But we also know this: the transfer portal has made things a little more difficult, in a sense that Saban said it too. Now you got to recruit to get players to come to the school, and you got to re-recruit the guys you recruited so they don't go off into the transfer portal. So there's going to be a lot of that. Like, I'm shocked Arch Manning stayed in Texas, because we know that if that was any other quarterback, they may have been turning around saying, you know what, I'm not sitting. I should be starting. I'm going in transfer portal, going to another team. So I'm actually shocked if teams now, these big universities are going to be the teams that are going to be able to do that. If they're able to retain some of these guys, look out. You're still going to be top heavy, even though you're running a 12-team playoff, because you're going to get teams like Notre Dame or like Penn State who are having successful seasons, but who play jokes of a schedule. They're going to make it, and then they're going to get mollywopped in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this is going to be a year where we're going to see a lot of the parity is there. I mean, I like, who I like, nobody's talking about. I like BYU. I actually watched them. They're a super physical team. They're a team I wouldn't want to play. They're going to get in the playoff. They're going to be about a 10 seed, maybe a 9 seed. I wouldn't want to play them at all, right? I just think that football is so much different than like basketball when it comes to these type of playoffs, because it is any given Saturday, any given Sunday type of deal, right? Mm-hmm. Basketball, the more talented team usually wins, right? You have a team of 64. The top seed's always going to beat 16, 2 over 15, 3 over 14. We already know that. And then also maybe 1 over 8, 2 over 7. Like, we know that. That's probably going to happen, right? But, man, this is going to be different. This is going to be a lot different. I really do. I can see some upsets in the first round. I can see a team like BYU get into the Final Four, or a team like Indiana get into the Final Four, or if, like, I'm trying to think of a team that's right outside. Look, what's his name? Ashton Genty in Boise State, who they are a pretty good team, right? If they get in, I think they could get to the Final Four, make at least win a game. Like, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I really do. I'm looking forward to it. I think people didn't want it because they don't like change, and I understand. Look, I don't know if it diminishes the season that much, because I still feel like you still have games, but I understand why people are saying that it kind of lessens the season, because you can lose some games and still be in the playoff, which I'm okay with. I'm fine with. I really am.
You know what it is? I'm sorry, but we've seen NFL teams win divisions with losing records. Why are we so concerned with these rankings of where a team is ranked at the beginning of the year? And depending on when that's the one thing I always hated. If someone loses towards the end of the season, or some of these conferences, they've got the conference championship game and they lose that, all of a sudden that hurts their ranking. And another team who doesn't participate in conference championships, their ranking doesn't hurt, because they still hold maybe 1 loss, while that team that was in the conference championship went from 1 loss to 2 losses. Come on.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. No, I agree. I think it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. Look, watch Clemson make a run while everybody was shitting on them and pretty much left them for dead when they lost to Georgia in the opening game of this year.
Yeah.
Watch them make a run to the national championship game. That's the stuff I'm talking about. That's what I like to see, right? And I love that. That would be a great story for Clemson if they got mollywopped by Georgia, and then they get hot, right, and then make it all the way to the national title game. Kind of like NFL teams like the New York Giants of when they won Brady the first time. Like, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. I really do. I really think so. But again, we got into a college football discussion. I can't wait to talk about that next week, because we have a lot to talk about with that. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Heisman Trophy. We're about midway through the college football season, about 3 to 4 games for most teams. Then we get the conference championship games, and then obviously the 12-team playoffs. So we'll talk about that a little more next week. And then, look, man, before you know it, we're going to be talking about draft stuff,
man,
as well.
Oh, man.
It's gonna be a lot of fun this draft. So football season is in full swing. And we're gonna be with you guys right every step of the way. So get ready to have a lot of fun with us up until the end of the year. But that'll do it for us. I'm your boy Be Easy from Be Easy Sports. That's the Fog from Particularly Biased Sports. And we'll see you guys next week.